I'm hot off a trip to Atlanta. Let me tell you what I saw in Atlanta, man. You know, it's always adventures of going to the South. There's always something to talk about.
Yep.
But before we do that, grab your phones and find us all over social media. Like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I forgot about that one. I got to put that in my notes here. Because that's where the conversation goes on when we're not here. That's where you want to be. Because we're only on one day a week. I ain't doing no more. That's it.
Come on, man. They want us to be on all the time.
Yeah, they try to work a brother to death. I ain't trying to have that. So, also visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. That's tfmradioshow.com. Archive broadcasts are there. The music playlist that's often requested is there. And the video of this broadcast going on right there, right now. In the Space Shuttle cockpit controlling everything is our white slave. That would be Devin, my man, Kung Fu himself.
That's right.
And that voice you hear right there is the black Asian dude himself.
Asian dude.
Richard Chu. Man, they got bugs in here. What's up with the bugs in here, Devin? There's bugs all over the place here, man.
You notice that, Devin?
You see that?
They need to bring an exterminator in here.
Why are there bugs here? They just want to know why there are bugs here. All right, so that's how we're going to do here. It's like we're in the projects, man. Raggedy ass rust bug. You got bugs in here, man.
Yeah.
A little bitty. Get out of here. What are you doing? Go somewhere. Where the bugs live?
Not here.
Man. Hey, man, you can become a patron of our broadcast for as little as $5 a month. Just click on the Become a Patron button on the aforementioned website, tfmradioshow.com. That's tfmradioshow.com. The family meeting is sponsored by Identity Guard. Take the time to protect your ID for as little as $6 a month. Go to lookaftermyid.com to learn more. Lookaftermyid.com. Yo, man, I was in Atlanta, man. Atlanta's different than, Atlanta's in the South.
You weren't in Birmingham.
Right. Atlanta's in the South, but not of the South.
Correct.
And, the deal with Atlanta is most of the people, a lot of the people that I encounter, at least, and I hear from a lot of other people, aren't from Atlanta.
Mm-mm.
So you get people from New York and Chicago, and I got a lot of friends down there, a lot of classmates from school, and so forth. So I was down there. Look, I got a bug on me, man. What the hell's going on with this raggedy ass place, man? This is the projects.
That's crazy.
I saw one crawling around up here on the sign and stuff. Y'all need to clean this place up, man. Y'all nasty up here, man. Anyway.
Exterminator. Tell him, what's his name?
They're remodeling? They're remodeling, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Devin says they're remodeling in here. Good luck on that. So, I'm going to be killing bugs the whole time. So if you hear this, that's me killing bugs.
It's not him trying to get my attention.
Yeah, see? So, Atlanta is in the South, but not necessarily of the South. Did I hear something?
It's echoing. Oh, hold on. That might be my phone.
Yeah, it's your phone making all that noise. See there?
That's what it was. Okay,
Yeah.
we corrected it. Atlanta.
Okay, let me say it again. Atlanta is in the South, but not of the South.
Nope.
Right? Because it's people from all over the place. It's kind of metropolitan.
Yep.
It's had black mayors. It's very progressive. It's college town, more or less.
Yep.
It's the AU centers there. You got 3 black colleges in Atlanta itself, all pushed up close to each other. And most importantly, my baby girl is there. So I got a place to stay when I go. But I'm down there because my best friend, who's been here before, Killer, Will Fisher.
Will.
He had ended up having quadruple bypass surgery. He had an irregular EKG, and then the fast forward, the end result was, hey man, let's just rip you open and make some changes in there so you don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
So I went to check on him because that's my man, and make sure that he's got a break from what can be a mundane recovery.
Yeah.
Took him to get a haircut. That's where the fun started.
Okay.
So, every time I leave the South, when I was in Alabama and this time when I was in Atlanta, I just feel like I'm in some sort of an Andy Griffith bit.
Time warp city.
Yeah, they commenced to running around and you get that. I'm like, y'all talk like that for real? That's not TV stuff, really?
How you doing over there, bro?
That's right, man. What time it is? They do that kind of stuff to you.
Clearing that throat on every sentence.
So let me tell you what Killer did, and I think he's listening now, so he'll know. He took me to a bar. He warned me about this barbershop.
Yeah.
I learned something in this barbershop.
Yeah.
So he told me that the owner and most of the barbers in there are staunch Trump-supporting right-wingers. I said, hold up, Killer. Why are you going to that barbershop? What could you possibly get in that barbershop? And I'm thinking most of us who've gone to barbershops, when I went to a barbershop, I had a barber.
Yeah.
It's my guy. I would go to see him, and I'd wait. This is my guy. He know how my head's shaped and all this thing. He know how to cut this thing.
Yeah.
Right? So he has a barber who just rented a chair in this shop. So this dude's got "Make America," great hats all over the place. He's got campaign signs for the people who are running for governor and other positions. From the right wing. Trump endorsed candidates. He's got "I hate Stacey Abrams" signs in there. And then there's one black barber in here who's cutting hair.
Wait. Oh, okay. So you just brought that curve, because I was like,
right. Yeah, it's all that going on at the same time.
And one black barber
and so that
Will is seeing.
Black folks, especially black men who are listening, you understand the barbershop environment, right? It ain't like that for us.
No.
It's communal. There's a lot of different things.
It's safe.
Yeah.
You might get told off, and you may need it.
Yeah, you might learn a lot.
You might learn a lot.
You usually got some old dude over in the corner. It's the famous scene from Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
The barbershop scenes you saw. Yeah. It's a lot. It really is a lot like that.
I mean, I will give Cube some credit. He did a decent job in depicting that.
Right.
I mean, call it what you will, but that's a whole rhythm with going to a black barbershop.
It is. It is.
Or a black beautician shop, as it were.
It is. It is. So this is what I learned, though. And I don't think I ever realized this. I think I may have seen this in passing a couple of times. But I've never seen white people get their hair cut before.
At all? Really?
I mean, you might see it, a partial scene in a movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
But I've never been in a barbershop where white people are getting their hair cut. So, I just figured they just took scissors and did their thing.
Oh,
I don't know what they're doing, but they were spraying it with water and they were combing it around his head. And I watched several happen. I was like, wow. So that's how y'all cut your hair. I hadn't realized it to that point. And I don't know if y'all realize how we cut our hair, right? I mean, usually we get our hair cut at a black barbershop, and it's all black people getting their hair cut. There's no white people in there getting their hair cut.
And if there is a white dude in there, he's cutting a brother's hair on the rare occasion.
He's probably Puerto Rican. He probably ain't white.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
Okay, good call.
Right. So, but this was not the case. So, in addition to being in a white barbershop with one black barber, who knew how to cut white people's hair, by the way,
which ironically most do.
Yeah, exactly. It was an experience for me. So I sat quiet because it wasn't nothing for me to say.
Right.
As uncomfortable as I was, and how
were you really uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I mean, in what way? In what way?
Because people who have those signs up and those hats up, they harbor a certain sentiment that I fundamentally disagree with, and they support certain things that are, I'm being kind, antisocial, and can bring harm to me and or my children. They create a home for people who wish harm on my children, and that's problematic for me.
Yep.
So, for me, it was, just focusing on Killer, making sure, he got out what he wanted to get out. He tends to be a fairly jovial guy, so he was joking with the owner of the shop, who was a straight up, Andy Griffith, and what all, and, all that kind of stuff. So
was this like...
It was commencing to fussing and the what all, just that kind of thing.
Good Lord.
Yeah, man. I was like, Killer, man, dude,
See, y'all, Eric is a stone cold friend, because he took his guy to get his hair done, which needed to get done. Y'all know how that is.
Yeah, because he had gotten woolly.
And into a place where, there was not going to be any friendliness going on in there, and just bided his time.
But they were friendly people.
Okay, I'll take that back.
They weren't unfriendly.
Okay,
I just know that they harbor a certain sentiment that is antisocial.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me.
Antisocial is a great way of putting that versus anything else. It is. It's antisocial.
Thank you for that.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
So,
but the thing though, so what I knew what was going on in black barbershops, at least in part, was the discussion around Brian Flores.
Yes.
In case you don't know, this is the guy who was formerly there's another bug here. What the hell, man?
Well,
don't
camera ain't working.
Yeah, this ragged ass place, man. This truly is a ragged ass rust bucket.
Where is it?
Y'all need to clean this place up, man. Brian Flores was formerly the head coach of the Miami Dolphins football team, professional football team in Miami, and he was terminated. And so if you read this, you can read the story. I don't feel like going into all the details because it's easy to find what's going on. But he's suing the NFL for discrimination, right? And so
in the form of a class action lawsuit, not just him.
Yeah, they're cobbling together, and some black coaches are starting to stand up. But
I read the complaint. It's well put together.
Yeah, these guys put together a nice complaint. And so he's from Brooklyn.
Yep.
He's a New Yorker that's his origin. So he's not a sit back kind of dude.
He's not a mealy mouth dude.
No, he say what he got to say, and he got some New York attorneys on this thing too. But one thing that stood out for me, you coming in to kill bugs, man, or what?
Your camera's not even on you.
My camera's not on either? What kind of raggedy ass thing?
Facing the wall.
Kill more. Why,
And yeah.
Is that good? That works, man?
Yeah, I think we can see you now.
Am I okay? Yeah, okay. Wow, so that's behind the curtain thing for you. So he did an interview before I left town on CNN with this dude, Berman, John Berman, I think his name is. That dude's always on TV, by the way. It's like he don't never go home. Go home. You got a wife, or kids, or something, man? Go home, man. Damn.
Yeah, maybe she don't want him around.
And so it was a two-part interview. They went to a break and came back, and he talked to him some more. But one thing he said out loud, John Berman said to him out loud, you know, this means that your professional football career is over. He said it out loud.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, the racism part that they've got to prove in court is a big problem all by itself. The mere fact that right-minded people know. And it was just matter of fact. And I keep seeing it repeated everywhere I go. He'll never coach again. He's the Curt Flood. They called him the Curt Flood of the NFL this year.
Yeah.
And read up on Curt Flood because he was the first guy. He created free agency.
If it weren't for him.
For all intents and purposes.
Well, he did.
Yeah. That feels like the most insidious part of this. The fact that
he spoke up, spoke his truth.
And you know that he's going to be treated like Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
Right? Well, and they're going to sit around. This is the part that pisses me off. They're going to sit around acting like ain't that. Like you're not seeing what you see.
Mm-hmm. Nope, he wasn't. This is what they're gonna flood the zone. No pun intended in football. They're gonna flood the zone with his coaching record. They're gonna try to dig up some dirt on him. They're gonna find some things that will separate him from being a quality coach for the team.
Right.
And Elway and his boy, who rolled into that interview apparently drunk, are already saying that they're taking that apart and trying to say that part of the affidavit's not accurate. And so they're gonna Berman's right, and the fact that he said it out loud in the manner in which he did, matter of factly, I know what you're talking. You know, I saw it. They're going to tear him apart. So that whether they win or lose
so they can say it's not because of his race or because it's what he's done.
Correct.
Right. They're just going to say he's not a good coach.
It's performance-based. It's all these things. And they're going to try to measure his performance to somebody else that's white that also they're going to do that. That's the game. We already know how that's going to play out. And they're going to use their standard playbook, which is character assassination.
Lovie Smith took the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl
the same year that
with
Tony
Rex Grossman playing quarterback.
Right.
Rex Grossman.
Right.
Mediocre at best quarterback. And he got fired. Mm-hmm. Right. And then mischaracterized as not being. I hear people in Chicago all the time saying Lovie wasn't a good coach.
How many other
people took coaches to the Super Bowl in here, and y'all ain't even close now.
You know,
you've been through what, 3 or 4 coaches now.
You know why that standard always goes back to Ditka. It's like, you know,
and he wasn't a good coach.
He wasn't a good coach. He had a marvelous team, and he messed that around. He messed that up.
Yeah,
because of his attitude.
Right. Buddy was the coach of that team.
He was, and he went away and showed that he was a coach of that team.
Yeah,
but summarily cooked. Anyhow, and we'll go down that road too far.
So the worst part about it is that they're saying that feels like the most insidious part of what's happening here is that you know that they're going to retaliate by basically blackballing him, and everybody knows it. And then they're going to go about the business of crafting a story that makes you believe everything except he's being blackballed, the same way they've done Colin Kaepernick. And here's the part that is crazy, and I would encourage you guys, if you have a contractual relationship with somebody, oftentimes we get contracts with people, and there's a provision in there called an arbitration clause.
Right.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's a sports agent the other day, and he says the arbitration clause is going to could lift this thing out of court. Mm-hmm. And he said it's probably one of the reasons they're making a class action suit, so you can bring in people who may not have an arbitration clause in their contract.
Because it still gives them standing in terms of the suit.
Right, because the NFL can just come back in some arbitration clauses, and this one, I don't know if it's the same way, but in some arbitration clauses, when you sign it, you're saying that I won't sue, I'll go to arbitration.
Right.
Which puts everything behind closed doors. You'll never see any of the discussions. Right, so they may be able to lift his particular case up out of the suit and have to arbitrate with him. But if he drags in other coaches, and they don't have arbitration clauses, then that sees the light of day.
Well, and also the way that the complaint reads, it speaks about his experience, but it also brings in the Rooney Rule. In terms of
that's garbage too.
It is, but it brings in the fallacy of that. So what seems to be smart by his attorneys is they've crafted this affidavit and the complaint less about his personal experience or singular experience, which could fall to the whims of arbitration, and broadened it to a systemic pattern in the NFL. And I think that will allow it to pass by.
It's a tough case to prove, though, because there's so many ways you can try to describe it as, like you said earlier, about putting his record up and all kind of things you can do to try to just muddy the waters.
Sure.
Make it a confusing discussion, because I think it's proven without a reasonable doubt. Or is that just murder?
No, in this case, there has to be the defense. I'm sorry. In this case, the complainant has to show that, because a part of this is based on money. So they're going to have to show that because of the fact that that the hiring practices were faulty and that the maintenance of coaches on teams was faulty, that there was a monetary loss that the coaches suffered.
Might have to get some lawyers in here to explain that stuff.
So, as I read it now. Again,
right. Yeah. And I don't want to dive deep on the lawyer side of this thing, because we can't unpack that the way a lawyer can. But just the unspoken part, and the fact that the system is going to go about the business now of trying to make us believe, but that we're not seeing what we're seeing.
Well,
right? And that's a huge problem to me. That is you urinating on me and telling me it's raining, and that makes me mad.
From a racial conversation standpoint, it's the same thing that's happening with the SCOTUS right now.
Yeah, same thing with the black woman.
Let's make it be that we don't see and hear what we are seeing and hearing.
Right. Hey, y'all, the number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Hey, how you doing? This is Oliver Gibson. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Darnell Lyles is ready to help you, whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI, and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
I think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right, you better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
Hello, this is Greg Hilton from PropertyTaxSolutions.com, and I have to agree the Chicago Tribune had it right when they said, you were foolish if you don't challenge your Cook County property taxes. Over the past decade, I have helped tens of thousands of Cook County homeowners reduce their property taxes by 10 to 15% on average. I was the first attorney in the county with the ability to give highly accurate, to-the-dollar savings projections prior to appeal. Now I have put my systems and legal analysis online for you to see anytime you want. Go to PropertyTaxSolutions.com and look up your property by address or PIN number to get my professional opinion of your tax assessment. The fees we earn depend entirely upon your tax savings, so this legal service doesn't cost you, it saves, as certain as death and taxes. Visit PropertyTaxSolutions.com or call 312-448-9992 and use discount code TFM for 20% off.
ETA Creative Arts Foundation is bringing community back to the community with its Outside the Box social events, starting Monday, November 29th with House Music Mondays, Tuesdays, 1-2-step, stepper set, Wednesdays, open mic night, Thursdays, karaoke night, and Friday, All Laughs, No Play comedy series hosted by comedian Stick. For more information about our weekly series, visit www.etacreativearts.org. That's www.etacreativearts.org.
We do. We buy, we sell, we move, we store. Anything, anytime, anywhere. We are We Do, the company that handles all your stuff. If you have anything that you want to do something with, please call us. We buy, sell, move, store, donate, discard. Anything, anytime, anywhere. eBay plus U-Haul equals We Do. We are moving at the speed of life. Call Terry Calloway, 312-343-9973, or via email, contact him at terrycalloway58@gmail.com.
Taylor Townsend. I was #1 junior in the world in 2012. You can follow me on Twitter at Taylor_Townsend without the D. And welcome back to the family meeting.
773-763-9278. 773-763-9278.
We're back. Hey,
That's
man,
right.
Can I give a shout out to?
There you go with the shout outs.
Well,
okay.
this is a little shout out / promo. So my girl, for y'all that are listening, my girl Dana Goldberg, comedian Dana Goldberg, is going to be performing at the Green Room 42 in New York City on Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can go to their website, the Green Room 42, grab some tickets. It's gonna be live broadcast, and then there's also, if you happen to be in New York City, you can check it out that way as well.
Green Room is downtown too, right?
Yeah. So she's gonna be doing her thing. LGBT community comedian. She's really good, and y'all should check her out. So Dana Goldberg live on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
What are these bugs in, man? There's damn bugs in here, man.
I know, it's crazy.
This is insane. 773-763-9278. So let me tell you a story about a company that I worked with.
Okay.
Back in the, there's another one.
I know, I had 2 over here I've killed already.
Oh, my God. These people are so nasty. Okay, so it's a company I worked with, an insurance company I worked with. I won't name them because I don't know what that means for me.
You're just too smart to not do that.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think there's any use in doing that. It's just kind of an example.
Right.
So if you can Google it, based on the story, you can Google them and then find out who they are. So there was a judge in Atlanta who determined that this particular insurance company hadn't promoted enough black managers, not proportionate with the population where they tended to set up sales offices.
Right.
Brought on by, of course, a black agent who wasn't promoted in a timely manner. So the judge decided that for, I think it was 5 years, that they had to meet certain hiring goals for promoting black managers.
Right.
And the number that the judge was able to conjure up was based on a formula where it used the local population as the barometer. So if 20% of your population was black, roughly, then you had to have 20% of your managers be black. Right. That kind of thing, right? And this company decided, you know what? Because the judge said, listen, if you can't do it or don't do it, it's $1 million fine. Every year you don't do it. I think it was like 5 years. The company said, we'll just pay the fine. Mm-hmm. Versus just going ahead and hiring some black people, we'll just pay the fine.
Yeah.
Right? So the NFL's in a similar situation right now. They could, versus all this thing they're getting ready to do, they could just solve the problem. You got 70 or so % of your players are black, right? It makes sense, right, to have some black coaches, some head coaches, not just
You're not saying 70%. You're not saying 70% necessarily,
right?
But better than where it is.
Be purposeful and deliberate about fixing that problem. It don't make any sense to not have black coaches. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Why go through all this just hand wringing and all these dances?
Trying to prove themselves out of, we're not racist, we haven't done racist things, we haven't conducted ourselves in a biased way. Rather than do that, just go, you know what, y'all? Maybe this is the behind the closed doors negotiation. Listen, we've been dropping the ball. It's clear that we have.
Say that. Just say that.
So help us fix it. But see, here's part of the problem, E, and I know you're telling a bigger story, but one of the things that I think I know for a fact, one of the reasons that I respect Eric so much is that Eric has the capacity to quickly go, hey man, that's on me. Very quickly. I do the same thing because it's a lot easier, and we don't fight over money professionally. We just don't, because it ain't worth it. So it's just, what's the point? Eric has the capacity to go, hey man, that's on me. And then we move on. And what I've noticed recently is that a lot of people in high positions, politically, left, right, in the middle, sports, business in general, and on religion, seem to have lost a basic piece of humanity, which is, you know what, man, I messed up. That's on me. How can we get this right and move forward? What can we do?
Right.
Rather than taking the position of, hey, man, I didn't do that. I wasn't one. I was down the street. That was my cousin from Buffalo.
Right.
And all this other stuff. Oh, but we've been trying to really, but we're not racist. We haven't been. No, you are.
Members of the Biden administration did it this week when the press asked them about their little attack where they killed, this terrorist was killed.
Yeah.
Well, where's the proof? You said he blew himself up. Y'all lie sometimes. This is not a left or right thing. This is a government thing. Y'all lie sometimes. So where's the proof?
Yeah.
And they were basically like, just trust us. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Not even you.
And although the outcome is based on what we may know is favorable.
But they ended up killing his wife and his children, too.
Right.
So they don't want that on him. So if you blew up his wife and children and him, I got a problem with that.
Right.
I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I got a problem with that.
At the end of the day. So that's the part that's frustrating about where the NFL is about to go. They're grinding the wheels now. They're warming up the engines now. You can hear them warming up. They're going to take the position that it's not us. We've been doing everything we can, and why don't y'all just be happy and shut the blank up? We're doing what not what we're supposed to do, but what we feel like we're going to do. Rather than doing that, just say, hey, look, y'all, the results are there. Yeah. If they want to take the position of, well, we're going to put his record up against a white coach record and say that's justification. Okay, well, if we're going to use that methodology, then we get to do the same damn thing when it comes to
what are the rules?
What are the rules? Because if that's your approach, we're going to do the same thing. And we get a hell of a lot more evidence to prove our case than you do yours, because we got a history of a business that's performed this way.
I was in a board meeting for an organization I'm on right now. I won't name them either.
Eric's very clandestine right now, y'all.
Well, you're going to know which boards I'm on, so I'm not going to tell you which board it is. But there's a project going on. We had a contractor, another bug,
Yeah.
on a board meeting, and your boy asked the question, right? Because this vendor, it's a he or she, I'm not going to say that, was presenting all the different trades that were going to be involved. I was like, do y'all have any black people that y'all hiring for this? And so there's a bevy of answers you can dig into a box and get out, right?
Yeah.
And the one of the many that is offensive to me, first off, well, okay, I'm not going to say that. That this person used was no, but if you know any.
No way. No.
How you going to get in front of a room full of black people and don't know no black people?
No, please don't say that happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so they're going to put the onus on us because we can't find any qualified ones. If you happen to know any.
Oh, my God. See, man, you got to give me a couple days extra notice so I can just roll with. But no, see, that's probably not a good idea.
No, but you know, I have a sense of decorum. This is my outlet here.
Yes.
In a board meeting, I have a sense of decorum. But my fellow board members know where your boy was going.
Wow.
They knew.
What happened next?
So the several of us from the board convened and said, no.
Y'all know what that means?
That's gonna work.
That's when Mama kicks you under the table and you're about to say something and you feel that heel on your baby toe. Yeah, that's what happened, right?
You ain't got to go home. Don't come back up in here no more. That's because you know our collective point in this little ad hoc meeting was if we ain't hiring black people, who is? Because they don't know any. We do. We know a bunch of them, but you can't seem to find none. And the real answer is you haven't looked. You don't care to look. It doesn't matter to you. Well, it matters to me. And in order for you to get this deal, you're going to have to find some black people. Bunch of them. No 10%.
Severely dominant.
You need to get as close as you can to all of them being black.
Yep.
If you're going to do business with your boy. Otherwise, I'm raising hell. I'm just raising hell. Because if I don't raise hell, who will?
Giving you a chance to get that right tire back on the track.
Right.
You know, the left one's wobbly, but to get the right one back on, the left one will straighten up.
Right. Now, so the mistake that they can make now is to come back and say, well, you know, listen, that's unfair. And
Eric.
No, if you bring unfair to me in the context of talking about hiring black people, you fired.
Yeah, because on the unfair, you're going to get to play the unfair card when you're talking about.
Not in front of me.
That's like, what is it in this conversation about President Biden saying that he's going to nominate a black woman to SCOTUS, and all these these knuckleheads are running around saying, well, they shouldn't do that. It's not, and how is that fair to the country? And I heard that come out of the mouths of a couple of white male, specifically Republicans, and I thought, you can't use the fair word in a conversation about
right. You can't.
No,
that doesn't make any sense.
Fair?
That doesn't make any sense. What really got me is I heard a couple of them, because apparently it's in their talking points, refer to Biden's decision. The people that he will choose, they're automatically all radical, right? So let me understand this. So white women, white men are not radical, but black women, all of them, without even having them vetted yet or having a hearing, they're just radical.
Categorically.
Right. That whole category of people is just radical.
Right.
I'm not having that.
No.
At least, this is the part where they're saying the quiet part out loud. It used to be that the order would be shut up until they present themselves and then characterize them as radical.
Right.
But you're just going to call them radical. Because they got a brown costume on.
I'm kind of glad that this is happening, and here's the reason why. For in a similar way that people were running around saying all cops are good, and if the black person had just minded their business and done the right thing and followed orders, George Floyd wouldn't have been murdered. Okay, so we've seen for decades, black folks, if y'all just do the thing that the cop tells you to do, you'll get home safely. We know that's been BS. It's been recorded now. We saw it. Now, so all the white folks who've been running around, left, right, and in the middle, and saying, oh, but come on, Rich, and come on, Eric, you guys, you guys are successful. Why are you upset about the fact that the police are taking care of business? And then George Floyd gets murdered, and people go, oh.
On video.
On video.
Because if he hadn't been on video, it
wouldn't
have never happened.
So
he had a cardiac arrest.
Right.
That's all that's happened.
Right. He hit his head against, And so now, with the SCOTUS nomination, I'm glad that it's playing out this way, because we are going to continue to see real time, mostly white men saying the thing behind closed doors out loud in front of everybody.
Yeah, but here's the thing, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, I know it doesn't, but it's the same thing that, not the same, it's in a similar paragraph of people are going, oh, these guys are not racist. These guys don't have any bias. They're saying they're showing their bias right now.
Yeah, but everybody's already in their lane. Nobody will change their mind based on the discourse over this SCOTUS pick. Nobody will change their mind.
When you say nobody will change their mind, what do you mean?
I mean, to hear what Ted Cruz said,
yeah,
nobody's going to change their mind about Ted Cruz.
Oh, got it. So there's not going to be people that are going, oh, my God, I didn't realize he was that awful.
Right. Nobody's going to do that.
Done. Yeah, Eric's right about that. That ain't going to happen.
No, they ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
I was watching last night. It may have been a repeat. I think her name is Sarah Seidner on CNN.
Uh-huh.
She did a special on CNN about black people being pulled over.
You mean Tara Setmeyer?
No, this was Sarah Seidner is her name, I think.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyway, it was on black people getting pulled over. And so, one of the things that stood out to me was the data. And all this lends itself to data-based solutions, right? Mm-hmm. There's data that talks about diversity in the workplace being profitable, right? Forget fair, profitable.
Or benevolent.
Right. Yeah, right. Fair or benevolent. It's just profitable to do that. And so right in the middle of her special, she pulled out data from several sources that showed the number of people pulled over by police, right? And it turns out that proportionately, black people are only a little bit more often that do they get pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
Where it gets wild is when there's searches. So that almost tripled the white folks.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the number of black people harmed, wasn't even a comparison.
Yeah.
Right? It was almost all the black people, all the people who are harmed in a stop are black people.
Well, the interesting thing that causes the pullover to escalate is if y'all didn't catch this, is the number of searches.
Right. They decide to search black people way more
because
than white folks.
Inherently, I'm going to give the police officers a little bit of window here, unless they run the plates, which they're supposed to do with certain incidents of pulling over. They don't know that the person behind the wheel of the car, let's assume that they had tinted windows, is black or not white.
So this represents, and it may not sound like there's a common theme to what I'm trying to say here, but all these you can attach database solutions that are beneficial to society instead of what we're going to see in the case of the NFL.
Right, and in the case with SCOTUS, because I kind of call them, they're in the same paragraph.
Same thing. If you add a black woman to the court, you automatically increase the credibility of the court.
And what's so crazy about it, I know we're going to break, this is where white men just crack me up sometimes. They really want, and this is kind of across the board, if they really wanted to say, yeah, we're down with a better system, a better country, they'd go, you know what, everybody needs to shut their mouths up. It's time.
Right, that'd be the thing.
That'd be the thing to do.
Yeah, this is right now.
You know
do
what?
This.
It's time.
Right.
It's time. I mean,
even on the Republican side, I mean, you got control of the court. Go ahead and take the side of the black woman on. You still got control of the court
and look real good.
Right, but you're going to take this other ugly thing.
Oh, and they would look good, E.
Right, but that's more important to you than that.
And they wonder why black folks why we get angry.
Yeah, 773-763-9278. We'll hit the phones next, y'all. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Robert Orr. Keep listening to Family Meeting. Hey, this is Brittany Perry. Did you know there's a black-owned footwear brand based here in Chicago? Perry Co. Shoes creates affordable luxury footwear and accessories for both men and women. Whether you're in a suit or out with friends, they provide pieces you can wear on a daily basis. Breaking barriers, inspiring style. Visit www.perrycoshoes.com to purchase a pair today. That's www.perrycoshoes.com.
A 2016 study estimates that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft that year. Fight back against identity theft by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
For you to get empowering financial advice, save and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA. SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
Hi, this is Tommy Nelson. Visit me at A Custom Cabinet Design, Facebook.com. Welcome back to the family.
773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. So, you know, Lenny White was part of that whole group of cats from New York.
Yeah, I know.
Bernard Wright and I think James Ntoumi, he just died recently, was involved.
And
the bass player. Yep, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they tried to put together a little group and bring funk out of New York.
I watched an interesting show on Netflix. You may have already
Marcus
seen it.
Miller.
Marcus Miller. I knew. It was right on my tip.
Yeah.
On Miles Davis. I mean, a lot of it we knew, but a lot we didn't know.
On Netflix?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was good. And that's why when you said that, it made me think of Marcus Miller, because
he's a genius.
Big part of that comeback.
He's a genius. All right, let me get Dwight calling from the South Side here. Dwight, what's new, man? Hey, Dwight.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Yeah, hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. How you?
All right, on this Sunday. Yeah, I called in. I was just touching base with, people not knowing what white privilege is. You just look at how they're treating the people that went up there to the Capitol with weapons, forced their way in. I made an analogy once with a coworker that happened to be a Trump humper. And I told her, I said, now this kid in, Racine or somewhere like that in Wisconsin, where he got shot 7 times in the back.
Yeah, Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
Jacob Blake. And that put his name on it, Jacob Blake. 7 times. Now, you can rush in the Capitol and not get any put in you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, that was different. He didn't listen to what the police did. Really. So I'm with you, Eric. I gave up on them. If I know that's how they're leaning, I don't need to know anymore. And I really don't want to be bothered with people like that. I really don't. I think it's a waste of time. I'm getting up in age, and all the time I got, I want to use it wisely. And that's time I'll never get back. Because a lot of these people are just brainwashed. They are. I mean, you can't tell them with anything. You can't reason with them, you know?
Mm-mm.
And I just truly believe the Civil War never ended, fellas.
Yeah. I'm offended by people who ask me to try to work with them. I'm offended by that.
Exactly.
And Eric, Dwight, Eric is a fair-minded dude. I mean, I know this on a personal level and certainly with regard to business. He ain't going to treat you wrong. But that kind of craziness on, that's just...
Yeah. You better not ask me to try to be nice to them. You better not.
and I just want to touch on the Flores situation.
Yeah, please.
Throughout history, we have to have somebody to be brave enough to stand up and take a stand. And it opens the floodgates for others coming behind them. And I just applaud him for doing that. The thing is, look at the league, look at the players, look at the coaches. That's all you got to do. Yeah. You don't have to do anything else. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's representation, and we got qualified brothers that aren't getting their shot.
And sisters.
It's not right.
And sisters.
Yeah, and sisters.
Yeah.
Sisters, it's just not right.
Yeah. But more...
2022. Wow.
I think even more importantly, how is it just a known fact that you're penalized for highlighting unfairness?
Yeah.
Right. Why is that a penalty?
Exactly.
In an environment where people say, let's play by the rules and let's do things the right way. And, they talk from the back of their throats on how the order should be. But the minute somebody brings the order, or as Eric always says, the rules to the forefront, then it's like, well, that's what's going on.
And there's penalties and
no pun intended.
Yeah.
I'll just say this before I get off. I've been in a position of leadership over people. I'll say that, over people, certain people, white people. And it's different. It's different for them if they never had that.
Right.
They don't know how to react. If you say something and you're affirmative in what you're saying, you're the mad, mean black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't, and I told a guy one time, I said, you know what, you think I'm loud, you need to come to my family reunion.
Right.
But he didn't get it. But the thing is, the stereotype, you have to put that aside and embrace the diversity. This person being a leader is not going to be like this person because they're two different cultures. They come from two different places, right. And they don't talk the same way, and they don't express themselves the same way. Yeah. But as long as they get the job done, that's the main thing.
That's right.
Qualified.
Yep.
You guys have a good day, man. Thank you,
man.
You too, Dwight. Stay safe, brother.
Man. Let me get Jim in here, calling from Chicago. Hey, Jim, what's new, man?
Hey, Jim.
Hi. Hi, good afternoon, guys. I'm just thinking about the 900,000 Americans that lost their lives. It's probably 30% higher. I know that the senators are trying to get down to brass tacks, and you have a 9/11 commission to find out what went wrong. What gets me is the internet, if it worked properly, I think it would have saved lives instead of taking lives by misinformation. And the other thing that galls me is the Republicans with this mask business. As far as I'm concerned, they look better in masks to me. They should keep in masks forever. But the point is, why would anybody think their freedom was being taken away by wearing a mask in a contagious pandemic? I know this will be studied over the years. You take the 1917 to 1918 flu epidemic. There was no television. There was no radio. There was no internet. And you think that 100 years later that we would have improved on it. But anyway, they're going to go after that, and so this is going to be amazing. Who dropped the ball, and why did we end up in the United States as the leading leader in deaths and infection rate on the earth? And we're supposed to be the great country. Anyway, you guys have a great afternoon, and thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Here's the funny thing about that, too, is that, and I think, first off, y'all got to reconcile with this. I'm talking about mainly the white community. Y'all got to reconcile with the fact that this system is not built to hold white men
responsible,
accountable.
Yeah.
So everybody, I'll bet on this. I'll bet money on this. That nobody in the Trump's inner circle will be held accountable for anything.
There was a moment this week, Eric, I thought about something you said for 4.5 years, 5 years, that whatever he gets brought up on, he's not going to go to jail for. And there was a moment this week where
they won't even be tried.
I thought about it this week. I said, I've agreed with Eric on a lot of things, and this is another one. I actually had that moment where I went, he ain't going to do no I mean, he may die first. Not
Definitely.
I'm not taking that down a negative road for anybody. He may die first, but in terms of being prosecuted while he's alive,
no,
and
nobody around him will.
I had this moment where I went, if all this stuff is, I mean, Eric, this whole thing about giving Merrick Garland this room, this big wide ass fairway to hit a wedge into, because basically that's what he got. He got a wedge in his hand and a wide fairway. How can you miss the fairway? So when people are talking this,
you go with the analogy.
It's a good analogy when you put it in this context. People are running around saying, well, if you take a shot at the king, you can't miss. What? You got Mueller had 10 areas to indict this mug. Yeah. And they're sitting around going, so
they got to further investigate.
Right.
He investigated. Now they got to investigate the investigation.
Right. And
we got to look into this.
And y'all think he's going to do some jail time.
The system is not built to hold white men accountable. Y'all need to take a hard look at this. Right? The data proves this out. And I guarantee you, and listen,
they're going to put more white women in jail. Good example. Let's just use a current real-time example. The white female officer up in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
What did we say was going to happen? She was going to do some jail time. But the numbers of white guys.
But the cop before her who killed George Floyd, right? I knew he was going because they needed to have somebody. They needed to sacrifice somebody to get the heat off of.
And yet before the grace of God, a tape that was virtually undeniable.
Absent the tape, it would have been a whole different narrative.
And a good example is this boy here locally who murdered Laquan McDonald.
He's out now.
He's out. Going to hang out with his daughter.
Yep.
So the system, going back to what Eric said, is not built to put white guys in jail, and if so, for any extended period of time.
Look how the system responded to these white guys in Georgia.
They were trying everything they could.
Right. I think the state even agreed to move them out of the higher risk prison. Mm-hmm. The state, the people who prosecuted him, were participating in making it a little easier on them.
We can't make it quite that hard.
Yeah, we had to serve them up because there was too much heat. We need to make it a little easier on them.
And if you think we're just
the state participated in that.
Come on, y'all.
And the judge said, "Oh hell no."
If you think we're making this up, we got so much data on this. Let's just look at any black person in history that's been killed by someone white, and how much time they really did, and how much was done to try to get them out.
Just look at the data.
Just look at the data.
Yeah, but all you can conclude from the data is either one of two things. The criminal justice data. Either black people are more prone to commit crimes, or the system's unfair. Which one you going to choose? Let me get my man David calling from Sacramento, California. Dave, what's new, man?
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, what the hell is going on with Minnesota or Minneapolis with this mayor? Why, can you tell me, why is he still there? Why hasn't these idiots who are ignorant voters still put him into office? Why is this police chief still there?
I think they changed police chiefs now.
Yeah, they did. And Dave, I want to know what the hell's going on in Minnesota. You know, the majority of the nationally newsed murders of police officers
by police officers
come out. What's in the
Minneapolis?
Water? What the hell's in the water,
You
Dave?
understand? You understand my point is that what I don't understand is that this guy is a wuss. He basically gives a speech and walks off, after he gives a stupid, like a state of address. He walks off. He's a wuss. Why is he still there, people? Get him out. Get this guy out. Yeah. I understand he's being supported by the union. Why is he still there? And on top of that, and I understand is this, the point what I'm trying to make is that these other clowns that are trying to use the system, trying to get off because on a federal indictment because of hate crimes, I am sorry. I wish the same jury that put this idiot officer in jail are the same jury that we can convict the idiots that went in there and barged into this 22-year-old kid's house. I want the same jury. Convict them. That's all I have to do, people. You are the people. You are the ones that are going to be the ones that throw these idiots in jail. Put them in jail.
Yeah.
And send a message to these officers that the more people we throw in jail, we send a message to these cops and these officers, they might think twice about doing it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks,
man.
Dave.
Good
Stay safe
point,
out there, man.
Okay. Sacramento, California.
California.
Yeah, it's the thing, man. So, I think where I'm headed with this, and I hope everybody kind of helps me lean that direction so we don't wander off another direction, is this is an opportunity to just do the right thing.
That's
as it relates to the SCOTUS, as it relates to black coaches in the NFL, as it relates to the justice system and pulling black people over. Listen, the data says this thing, right? Instead of fighting it, this is your chance.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
That's what blows me and Eric away.
In addition to being your chance, it's your chance, those of you listening, to insist that they take full advantage of this. Yeah. The data says something. We need to do something about it.
And let me add this to what Eric's saying. So many times the question comes out, okay, Richard, and thousands of other black men, what can we do to help? You know what you can do to help right now is, rather than turning to us, this is an easy one. Push these systems to do better.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing in your immediate neighborhood.
It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat.
It doesn't matter.
At all. This is your opportunity. Convince them it's the right time. It's the opportunity to make this right.
Make them understand the importance of
it. It ain't reparations. It don't cost no money.
Nope.
Just do the right.
Do the right thing.
773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
But you brought this up on yourself. The world is trying to pacify. We want the truth and nothing else. Yeah. And we are sick and tired of hearing your song, telling how you're gonna change right from wrong. 'Cause if you really want to hear our views, you have to.
Good afternoon, Chicago. My name is Timothy Hicks, Marine Corps vet. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we've created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link.
Americans who'd like to speak with someone about a long-term care plan? Did you know that only 16% have had that conversation? Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. One of the Polaris agents in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa can provide you with useful material, like what long-term care currently costs and what it could cost in the coming years according to the Genworth 2012 Cost of Care Study. With information like this, you'll have the power to plan. Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. Don't outlive your financial resources.
just another Romeo, the shoe you pass by in the store window. But soon as I got home, I wish I bought you instead. I got it bad, I'll take the black, take the navy and red. No other man has ever had quite this effect. I sleep alone 'cause there's no room in my bed for any other lover. With no gun to my head, your kisses hold me hostage, and I don't wanna stop it. 'Cause I only
Hello, this is Kevin Pitts of Performance Consulting Group, and that is performanceconsultinggrp.com. Welcome back to the family meeting.
Number 773-763-9278, 773-763-9278. I was teasing my boy Kevin the other day. He's in Louisiana now.
Right.
Like in rural Louisiana.
Oh, Lord.
Working for one of the colleges down there. And so he said, well, why don't you give me a Howard t-shirt, man? Give me a Howard t-shirt. He said, you know what size I am? I said, yeah. Fat.
Wait, 4X?
It's bigger than that. Fat. Just fat. You want fat. Give me that size.
Wait.
Walk in the store and say, y'all got anything in fat?
We got 2 pieces of fabric and a needle and thread.
Right, yeah, wrap it around your big head. 773-763-9278. So here's the thing, y'all. So here again. So this is another amongst many pivot points that we can take full advantage of here by doing the right thing. The data says one thing. It's an opportunity to do the right thing. And so the pushback, the immediate pushback in the case of the NFL, in all these instances, it's really 2 conclusions as it relates to fairness. One, in the NFL, either black coaches aren't smart enough to be NFL coaches, right?
Wait. So,
or you can't find any, right? Which side are you going to take?
Let's take some data on the number of years it took a black coach to get a team to the Super Bowl or to the conference championship from the date that they became head coach.
I don't remember what that was. I know Tony Dungy was the first one to win a Super Bowl, but I don't remember.
Tony went quickly. Mike Tomlin went quickly. Lovey went quickly. I mean, it didn't take 5 seasons to get to it.
And as soon as the record got a little shaky, they fired him.
They fired him because they had the white dude waiting in the wings to come in and mess it up and
full
make
advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we could take that.
John Gruden went down and messed up Lovie Smith's work.
Bingo.
Yeah.
We could take that conversation broader into the NBA to a great extent.
Yeah, I mean, but it's across the board, right? Because you could use the same thing as it relates.
Look at baseball. When Dusty was running the Cubs.
Right.
They was getting down.
Right. But now it's kind of 50-50, so we won't let you go now.
Yeah.
Let some white guy step in, and he'll do it from here.
Brooks Robinson, same thing. He was. Yeah. So listen. Yes, we are bringing out the conversation about the balance or the imbalance of, if you want to use the word fairness, what's fair, versus what's not fair in this arena.
Well, I mean, I think fair is a little too benevolent for my argument.
I don't want it for it to be fair. It has to be torn down and rebuilt because where it is now, the system is not.
Because I don't watch no NFL football anymore. I'm not that interested anymore.
I
know too much now. I can't get out.
Hey, man, we came back from our friend's funeral the Saturday of the 49ers Green Bay game. I watched the fourth quarter because I wanted to see. I think I told you I called it. It's the minute that they blocked that punt, I said 49ers going to win this game. I only watched that game because it was Saturday night. We were tired. And I thought it'd be nice to see Aaron Rodgers get sent home early this season. Yeah. But I'm with you.
I don't sit down and watch no NFL football games anymore.
We're catching on the fly.
It doesn't interest. I know too much, and I care too much.
That's what it is. I care too much. I support the players.
Like I enjoy watching the quarterback from Kansas City, Mahomes.
Yeah.
I like watching him, so I will watch a lengthy part of the game just to see him play.
Because you want him to do well.
Right, but I could care less who's winning in the NFL. I don't care about that big game next weekend. I don't care nothing about that.
I'm not going to watch it. I might catch a little bit. And
in the same way, I don't care about these barbers that Killer took me to. I know your sentiment.
Yeah, you want to do harm to those of us, those who are like us.
You'd rather exclude us,
and I got
than consider us.
I got to give a shout out, it's not a shout out, it's just a conversation piece about the book situation in America right now. And, this whole, it's the same conversation. So my guy.
This is your chance, as it relates to books, to do the right thing.
It is.
Listen, if the stories are challenging, wrap them with context for you.
Bingo.
Right? Wrap them with context, but you can't say that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I gotta. So this is. I'm gonna tighten this up because I know you got to grab all these calls.
Yeah.
So
if you're on the phone, sit tight. I'm coming to you next.
So a good friend and I were having a conversation. Rico, who's been on the show, he said, Rich, check this out. He said, let's look at the age. It was kind of a database conversation. He said, let's look at the age of the parents who were rolling into school board meetings, who were complaining about their children being harmed because of the books. Because he was following up on our 2 previous weeks' conversation about fragility, and he dropped something that was kind of interesting. He said, what are the ages of the parents that are complaining the most? And then he dropped in another thought. He said, because if you think about it, the white folks over 70 aren't really part of this conversation about take the stuff out of the schools. It's parents who are younger. And he said part of the problem with this whole conversation is the gig is up. They realize now that they can no longer hide from the fact that these stories have been true. Grandma and grandpa got away with it. And were able to...
And weren't held accountable.
And weren't held accountable. And we can't let that out. So the only way we're going to stop it, because the numbers are coming, the data shows that the numbers are coming, is we got to take this stuff out of the schools.
Yeah. In addition to grandpa being stinky, he's also a racist.
He's also a racist.
Yeah.
He just got away with it. So anyhow.
Let me get Matt calling from Chicago here. Matt, what's new, man? Did I say wish you Happy New Year yet?
Yes, you did, but I have to say, Eric, I know the screen actually said that I was Matt from Nigeria. Now, before I get to my normal rant, as Eric knows, because he saw my post, and for those of you who don't know, I'm whiter than a ghost.
He's a white dude.
And somebody came up to me. Yeah, I'm very white. And somebody came up to me and asked me, legit, full stop, if I was from Nigeria. And I just looked at them.
And I said, hello, me brother.
Yeah, no, that's why I did that. So there's that. But the rant for today, folks, everything I'm about to say does not. The family meeting does not condone what I'm saying.
Yeah, we do.
Although they probably should.
We do.
People. The Illinois courts have declared, because they're stupid, that kids don't have to wear masks in school. Now, this goes way, way back to, I don't know, the last time I called in where I said, do y'all want your kids to die? Because I hate to tell you this, but there are these people out there who don't want the vaccine. And because they don't want the vaccine, because they're stupid, they're not going to have their children get the vaccine, which will make their kids, sorry, just to clarify, not getting the vaccine will make their kids stupid. Not getting the vaccine will make their kids stupid. So then you're going to have a bunch of kids who may not be vaccinated yet, and a bunch of kids who are possibly vaccinated, but because they decided not to get vaccinated in the first place, we have a mutated strain of the virus that is slowly still killing people, and then they're probably going to get sick from it and possibly die. So once again, the Illinois court system and the numbnuts who basically run this country, I love Joe Biden, I'm a Democrat, just in general, let me rephrase that, the Republican numbnuts who run this country have once again made it impossible for your children to be safe. So once again, I'm going to end another call on the family meeting from 4 to 6 on Sundays, except on Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Christmas. Guess what? Get your damn shots, people.
Get the shot.
I'll say it again next week. Bye-bye, my brothers.
Get the shot, Nat.
That's right, my man,
Matt. I love it.
Let me get Ron calling from Michigan here. Hey, Ron, what's new, man?
Hey, Ron.
Hello, family, and Eric. You made the statement a while back that they consider all the picks for Supreme Court by Joe Biden as radical.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think what they're doing, they're going on what they have
put on the Supreme Court themselves. I don't think Clarence Thomas has ever been a more radical jurist than anybody I've ever seen. Because I've made the statement, I've been thrown off the air on other stations called an idiot for saying that I cannot think of a Supreme Court ruling where Clarence Thomas did not rule in favor of white supremacy. Can you name me one?
No, he's always, and he rarely says anything. He just kind of goes about his business. He's a useless human being.
He's been very useful, but not to the greater good of the country. But he's been very useful to the white thought process on how the Supreme Court should vote. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, what else is on your mind, man? You good?
Well, I'll tell you, it's really, really concerning me is this rush to war in Russia-Ukraine deal. And for speaking out against this war, you're labeled a pro-Russian and a pro-Tucker Klansman, because I don't think we have any vital interest there. And here's the thing, okay? I remember President Johnson making that speech live, saying that we will not send American boys to do what Vietnamese boys should do in Vietnam. And after watching that speech, I went to breakfast with my family, and I told my brother Jim, "You're going to Vietnam." And he said, "F you," and a year later, he went to Vietnam. And 2 years later, I went. And President Joe Biden made that same statement. I will not send American boys to do what Ukrainian boys should do last week. And, we're looking at the Russians are supposedly going to make an incident to drag us into this war. And I remember the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, which dragged us into the Vietnam War.
Yep.
And the parallels are just too striking here. It's we're not going to go up against guys in Ho Chi Minh sandals and AK-47s, and wearing turbans and suicide vests. We're going up against the best tanks, and atomic bombs can be up your chimney in 2 hours. And it's a very serious situation.
Putin is a maniac.
Concerned.
Yeah. Putin is a maniac.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there'll be a war, but I don't have any reason to believe otherwise. And quite frankly, it doesn't concern me that much. Yeah. Maybe it should. It doesn't concern me very much.
No, it's a crazy situation.
Yeah, I feel bad for the poor people, the poor young men and women, because there's always poor young men and women who may need to fight if there is a fight. But I think Putin wants something more than land, and they may end up giving him that, and it'll end this altogether.
He wants at the end of the day, he's trying to block any of the former Soviet bloc countries from becoming part of NATO.
Well, that too. Okay,
and
whatever.
That's the only real twist he has.
It's a temporary condition. So.
Yeah.
One final point, if I may. In today's New York Times, in the middle section, they got a front page story about us going in Afghanistan. But there's a picture of it's profiles, but it's you can see that there's a black general. It looks like, and he's greeting or saying goodbye to the soldiers as they're marching off to the planes. He's a black high-ranking officer. And there's three enlisted and then marching off to Ukraine. But
I'll look for that.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it is terrible. Hey, man, be well up there, man, okay?
Stay safe, Ron.
Thank you all.
You bet. See ya.
Thank you.
Let me get Marcus calling from the south side here. Marcus, what's new, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. How you?
What's up?
Look, I'm doing great. We're fast approaching 1950.
I wasn't there, man. What was that like?
Well, I wasn't there either, but I can read a history book.
You mean they didn't take it out of your schools, man? Come on.
Yeah, well, I'm 63, so I got a chance to get some of it. And I had a grandfather that fought in World War II and a father that fought in Korea.
Yeah.
But my main concern is, not enough of us are paying attention, especially younger black people. I often hear people say that, racism will burn itself out because the younger white people will not subscribe to racism. How has that worked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a thing. This really is a thing, and it's got to be dealt with directly, and it's not being.
Nope.
You know, I listen to you guys quite a bit. I'm glad I got on before 4 o'clock because I'm usually drunk. I'm retired. I'm usually drunk and passed out by 4 o'clock. But, you know, I often hear people like, well, there's a young man that I worked with before I retired, white guy. And we were acquaintances. We were friendly to one another. And we always talked about family and so forth and so on. Then I found out he was a Trump supporter. And I basically had to cut him loose. Now, part of our conversations before I found that out was he was having problems with his in-laws. His wife had passed, and they wouldn't allow him to attend her funeral. And I often found that strange until I found out not only him being a Trump supporter, but his wife was black.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to leave that with you. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Be well. Yeah, this is the time, y'all. This is the time where the society has a chance to stand up, and it only is going to happen if you push them.
Yeah.
They've got to be pushed to that. And so, you know, the normal fight, the normal pushback that we as voters give, I think it's got to be markedly different this time. It's got to be, hey, man, this is our chance.
Things are
you
different.
Put all this stuff, you know, you got somebody that you keep up some mess with, and you say, like, why are we still fighting, man? Why you know, let's just square this up and move forward, man.
Yep.
This is a chance to square that.
Yep.
These particular instances, it begins to establish a habit.
The country, but that's the thing. I don't believe the country wants to move forward. It doesn't want to move forward on race issues.
I think it's more knee-jerk than it is not wanting to. I think it's just habit. That as soon as you say something like that, your knee-jerk reaction is to react that way. Pause for a second.
Yeah. Yeah,
Think about
true.
this, right?
That's true.
There's some people, you're right, who don't want to move forward. I think there's a segment of the population.
They're just conditioned that, okay, oh, God, we got to do this again.
Why you got people living like that, man?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was a whole bunch of things in our society that we need to straighten out. There should not be any homeless veterans, right? Let's just end that.
And it's endable. Easily
right,
endable.
It can do that. Just end that. That's stupid to have that happen.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm preaching a little bit.
That's
all right.
good.
That's right. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
I'm Vic Miller-Wathen. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Oh, I like to greet the sun each morning and walk amongst the stars at night.
ETA Creative Arts Foundation is bringing community back to the community with its Outside the Box social events, starting Monday, November 29th with House Music Mondays, Tuesdays, 1-2 Step, Stepper Set, Wednesdays, Open Mic Night, Thursdays, Karaoke Night, and Friday, All Laughs, No Play comedy series hosted by Comedian Stick. For more information about our weekly series, visit www.etacreativearts.org. That's www.etacreativearts.org.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
A single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and in many cases have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Now that the bridge is on this side of the border,
some of that.
Why don't y'all come on over here with us? You wanna walk the water? And if you ever should see a skunk shake his rump, tell him to come on over here for some snake funk in the dump, baby. Now we got this stick that will set you free. All you got to do is take a closer walk with me. And we got this thing that's full of magic tricks. So come feel, if you will, the magic of the Dookie Stick.
Hello, this is Dr. John Artis from Health on Earth Wellness Centers. You can visit us at www.healthonearth.org, and welcome back to the family meeting.
So here again, I don't know if we made any progress.
Nash there, folks.
Yeah, this is Dookie Stick here, man. Yeah, that's what that is. And Rich reminded me of a quote from Dr. King, where and both of us are paraphrasing because we can't remember the whole quote, but he basically said, I ain't worried about them people that are way out on the edge. I'm worried about you people who are my advocates, who are choosing order over social justice.
Yep.
Right? So the people that need to be saying something right now are the people that know this is unfair. The people who know that there are consequences to them for saying something. You know, like John Berman who interviewed Coach Flores, he would say to him directly, this is going to affect your career, but he didn't express any level of discomfort with that factoid.
Right. It's almost like sometimes somebody white too comfortable using the N-word.
Yeah, they get there, right?
Yeah, like, okay, well, you know, dude, your career is over, and no, but without any introspection behind.
Think about what I'm saying here.
Right.
That because you spoke up about unfairness, that your career is harmed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem in and of itself.
Yeah, and people, well,
right, and that's basically how the system keeps change from happening. It's offering consequences for saying something about unfairness.
Because people are too worried about being a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, how are my neighbors going to think about it?
And that's
if my kids have to go to school, and how will the other students treat them? And you know,
and that's a short term. That's short term thinking. That's not long term thinking.
Right. And it's stressful too. I get it. It's stressful. Right. You may be ostracized if the black guy in your corporate meeting says, "Hey, listen, why aren't I getting the same money that he's getting?" If you stand up and say, "Yeah, I want to know too," now you got a problem because you said something about unfairness.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the essence of the problem. The unfairness is I think the unfairness is the secondary problem. The inability to say something about the unfairness is the crux of the issue.
Because the unfairness is not going to go away unless somebody says something.
Right.
Then the people that need to say something. Because this is part of what I'm seeing a lot on social media. And that is a lot of black folks are saying, look, white America, we're done, you know, holding a class on how to help you all understand what the hell you should do.
I'm done being in the studio, too, with all these damn bugs, man.
Just
take that home.
Just do it.
Let me get Steve. I've been wanting to talk to Steve. Hey, Steve, man, big hug for you, man. Do you feel hugged right now?
I feel warm and cuddly.
There you go. There you go.
man.
You got the slippers on. That's right, Steve.
But I think you raise an important point because in many ways we're living through the same sort of thing that we saw in the late 60s and early 70s, in which Richard Nixon played on the notion of the fear that Americans were experiencing after a huge spike in crime. And that's exactly what you're seeing in America. And that's where you're pitting order, which is what some people opt for, over justice. Because right now Americans are terribly afraid of crime. In fact, when you poll Chicagoans, they're more fearful of crime than they are of COVID. And as a result of which Republicans are exploiting this, because the message is, well, you know what, it's Democrats who are to blame. Because Democrats are in power in these cities, and you've got a Democratic president, so therefore if crime is high, it's because Democrats are causing it, which is obviously crazy, but okay, they can sell that to their voters. And unfortunately, if given the choice, people always succumb to fear. And that is unfortunately a human condition. We'd like to think that we're driven by intellectualism, rationality, and reason, but we tend to succumb to fear at every turn. So I don't know what the answer is. And unfortunately, with regard to the gentleman that you're discussing, I mean, he really does have a yeoman's task because within this very small insular field that is the NFL, he's asking people to come forward and say, join me in this, because he wants to make this into a class action in a case. But, as we all know, I mean, it takes, quite a bit of courage to say, you know what, I'm going to burn my bridges, because that's essentially what would happen if I join this. Or do you simply say, well, you know what, I've got a family, I've got a mortgage, I've got kids and grandkids. Do I get on board with him, or do I preserve what I have? And that's a tough choice, and it's sometimes easy to call for that sort of thing when you're not in that position. But I agree. I think that, if you're comfortable enough to have one of those jobs, then, it falls upon you to think about where other people stand and how you can live with yourself, and whether or not, you should stand up, and I believe you should. But I'm not in their shoes, so and the other point is that it's a Herculean task, because there's a difference, as we all know, between what is right and wrong. That's quite obvious in this case, versus what you can prove in a courtroom and under the existing system, and exactly what kind of odds he has of actually prevailing in this case. And unfortunately, the odds are not stacked in his favor.
That's right.
Again, that goes to the system. And as you pointed out, before, when we asked the question about whether or not is it that the system's unfair, or that there's more crime in certain communities, actually both are true. But that's not a function because there was a particular ethnic or racial group that's predisposed to crime. It's when you disenfranchise a group of people. There's no opportunities, terrible schools, no jobs, whatnot. And then the only outlets are things like gangs and selling drugs, if you want to pay your bills or whatnot. Well, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, people aren't going to just starve. They're going to go and say, I'm going to sell something that's illegal technically. And if that means that, I may end up getting shot or shoot somebody in order to defend my drug territory, then that's going to happen. But when you look at who was in Chicago's jails a century ago, guess what? Irish and Italian and other people who were living in those same neighborhoods, disenfranchised. So it's not a function of race, it's a function of how much opportunity we give to people in the society. And the more you give people opportunity, the less they're incentivized to commit crime and antisocial behavior.
Yeah, and you under-resource a community, that's what you get.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's not about investing in some group that you don't identify with. It's about investing in society, because you can either help such and such to make sure that they graduate and get a high school diploma and go on to trade school or college, or you can worry about that kid robbing you someday. It's your choice. Because he's not just going to go off and die in a corner. He's not going to do that. So so if you want to address these issues, that's what it means. It means investing in society. But that's what they've done in Western Europe. We recognize that there's a bare minimum in terms of what we want to support with regard to social welfare programs and so forth. And they have much less crime, much less violence than we do. But in America, it's this, well, I'm where I am. I'm just going to pull the ladder up behind me, and you all are on your own.
Yep, That's what it is. You're right. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you, man. And a big hug for you again, man, okay?
2 hugs.
Oh, he's going. Okay. Let's go. Let me get to, I'm going to want to talk to Catherine for a minute here. Catherine, what's new, girl?
Hey, Catherine.
Hi. Listen, how many people do you know take naps under their blanket, on their couch, with a gun in their hand, much less a mini machine gun?
So I know of 2 right now. Why do you ask?
Really?
Uh-huh.
I know. I have a couple, too, that have
Yeah, you have to have come up in a certain place or a certain environment to know to do that, though.
And these are people that they're not like criminals. They're just your average person afraid.
They're the kind of person the NRA should support.
Yeah, I have two very close friends. One has a gun right next to his bed, and the same person has one in a holster because he can carry a gun with him in his vehicle in a holster piece in his car.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I used to work with a bunch of nurses, and there was like 60 or 80 of us, and one girl, only one out of the number, said that she slept with a gun under her pillow. I've got cousins who live down in Fort Worth. I don't know. They live near Dallas or someplace, but kind of out in the country. And they're real gun people. Like, they really they think that everybody should carry. And I said to them one time, what are you so afraid of that you need to carry a gun all the time? Because it really isn't. They don't have crime. I mean, they don't live in Englewood. If I lived in Englewood, yeah, I'd carry a gun. But I don't live in Englewood. And you know what? Somebody could come in and kill me tonight, and I'd be saying, I wish I had a gun. But I'd probably kill myself.
Yeah, most people who have guns get the gun used on themselves before they shoot somebody else. It rarely is the case where you have a gun and you save your own life. That's rarely the case.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'd probably pull it out and shoot myself first.
Right. Barney Fife style. I got it. Yeah.
Drop it and shoot yourself in the foot, huh?
Shoot myself just putting it away. Yeah. It's just, it's kind of like puzzle pieces, and it upsets me because here you've got one half of the puzzle is this poor kid who's killed, and then you've got this crazed bunch of people who this is their procedure. This is what they do. They get all gunned up for it. They're all excited. They're all screaming. They're running in at the same time. I'm sure they're patting themselves on the back before they go in, like, wow, we get to be, real men and make lots of noise and go in with guns blazing. And then they kill this kid. And it's like, it's terrible. It shouldn't be allowed. But then why do we have this culture where people accept the gangs? I actually heard somebody say, it was on a radio show or TV show, that they were concerned about the gang members if they lost their ability to support their families. Come on. Get a job. I mean, the ability to support your family, that should not be part of our culture. No one should be thinking, well, I got to be good to the gang. But, I talked to a young man one time. I was talking. I have insurance through Humana. There's a young guy who lived in Louisville, and I talk to everybody. I mean, I talk to people on elevators. I'm just.
You're that weird lady.
I am.
Oh, here we go, Catherine. Here comes Catherine again.
Oh boy, turn around.
Yeah. Exactly. And we had a nice conversation, but he was bringing up. I asked him where he lived, what the temperature was. I said I live in Chicago. He wanted to talk about the show Shy, and you could tell he just thought it was great. And I'm thinking to myself, what is that a show about? So I watched it, and he was so excited about the show. He just thought it was so cool, and he really wanted to visit Chicago because it was so cool. And I was thinking, this is, that's a movie. That's a show. That's not real life. Real life is this horrible nitty-gritty where every day you sit and you turn on the TV and somebody else has been killed.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Well, so, Catherine, I ask this question a lot of people, and I would, based on what you've said today, I want to ask it of you, too. It's a rhetorical question, but I want you to consider it. especially now that this cop who killed Laquan McDonald is out and free now. For the people that are engaged in the antisocial behavior that you've described, for the people who are sleeping with a gun next to them, I want you to consider for a minute how your life, what turns in your life would have to have happened where you felt the need to sleep with a gun every single night. Think about that in some depth, and then consider how bad it must have been for you where you feel like that's necessary. Then you begin to empathize with people who do that. You begin to empathize with a Laquan McDonald who's walking down the street on a school night and has a cop empty a gun into him with 16 bullets. How bad would it have gotten if Catherine's on that street on the south side walking down the street with a knife in her hand? How bad had your life gotten if you're there? And then empathize for a minute.
Right, but I have empathy, but it's a different kind of empathy. I am not empathetic to gangs. I understand people are traumatized by these things and feel the need to carry guns, but to get into to choose to live a life of crime is just, it's stupid. And for a whole
yeah, but Catherine, most people don't choose. Most people don't choose to live a life of crime.
Yeah, but regardless whether they choose or not, for a whole culture to support them, for a whole culture to say, "Oh, we're not going to say who the shooter was." You know, in the little village, they found the shooter right away because everybody said, "This poor little 8-year-old." You know, they all had, probably because she was a little girl. I don't know, but they did find the shooter.
Yeah, but there's a reason though. There's a reason people don't say that. They won't disclose who the shooter is. There's a reason for that, you know.
I know they're afraid.
But you got to know who they're afraid of, though.
I guess they're afraid of the police too.
Yeah,
they're afraid of,
because the police can't protect them, and there's a reason that they're gangs. And this is not an endorsement of gangs, but there's a reason they're gangs, and a lot of it came out of the era when Black Panthers and where police were just coming in and brutalizing people, and the gangs were protection. Now they've turned into something more insidious at this point, but there's a reason gangs exist, and until you lift out the reason that they exist, they're going to continue to exist, and they're going to do the things that they do that are antisocial.
You know, that young man I was on the phone with that works for Humana, that was telling me about Shy, said he went to visit his grandmother in Chicago. And he was walking with maybe another family member up to his grandmother's porch. And there were a bunch of gang members in front of the porch or sitting on the porch. And they interrogated him to make sure that he wasn't going to cause harm to the grandmother. And he thought that was just wonderful. And I'm thinking to myself, crap, like I want a bunch of gang members in front of my house interrogating people who come to my house? You know, he thought that was good. Look.
Yeah, but you're using the term gang members as a pejorative. I get that, but there is a protection element to gangs that has really gotten lost in its effort. And I'm not endorsing gangs, but you got to know the whole story. It's not just antisocial people who've decided that I'm just going to be antisocial. It's not just that. These are under-resourced people who have no other choice in many of the instances.
The mafia is exactly the same in the Italian neighborhood.
Well, kind of.
So
they weren't under-resourced.
Is that right?
No.
Yeah, but they weren't under-resourced.
No, they weren't
though.
under-resourced, Catherine. I've been biting my tongue because I know Eric's going to tell me to be quiet because we got to get some other callers. But Catherine, call us back next week because I want to peel back a few layers on this with you. Okay, call back next week so we can talk about this a little bit more because there's a lot more to this than you're seeing.
Yeah,
and we're being respectful in saying that. But please call us back next week.
Yeah. It's not an endorsement either, by the way, of the behavior. It's just there's more history to it.
Yeah, there's more. There's much more information on this that you should hear about than what you have been exposed to.
And it speaks to the solution, really. Right. So we'll take you first. If you call in early, we'll take you first. Okay.
Okay, I'd love to hear some solutions.
Okay, you got it.
I would love to hear some solutions.
You got it. Thanks again.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, so
keep going.
I can't because I got to take the break here. So I wish I could, but I got to get I got to get Tom in here and Dave, and then Tommy's waiting on us too. So Thomas, you're next, and then Dave from Hoffman Estates, you're after him. But I got to keep you quick because Tommy's waiting, and you do not want him to come to you breaking windows.
That's right.
I'm just saying. All right? Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
That's what we got to give. Vibration, yeah. Positive. Got to have a good vibe.
Hey, Chicago, this is motivational speaker and author William A. Edens II, author of the book Listen If You Want to Succeed. Keep listening to the family meeting.
Positive.
A 2016 study estimated that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft last year. Fight back against your identity being stolen by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, that's only $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we created a Patreon family meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the family meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link.
You should be here with me, babe. You should be here with me, babe. Girl, you know you drive me crazy. Girl, you know you drive me crazy. You should be here with me, babe. Ooh, girl, I just want you to drive me crazy. You should be here in the morning time when I'm making my breakfast. You should be here beneath me to feel me, to heal me. You should be here to wrap me, to trap me, then climb me. You should be here. I'm a good man and I work hard on my night job.
This is Andre Davis. Welcome back to the family meeting.
So we're in
Radio
rapid fire time here, y'all. Sorry for that, man. We
y'all got to hit it.
Got engaged a little bit here. So let me go with Thomas first here. Hey, Thomas. Thanks for holding, man.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'll make it quick. Eric, this discussion you had earlier about the barbershop, what was the discussion after you and your friend left the barbershop in the vehicle on the way to wherever you
I
got?
told him he need to cut all his hair off, man. Don't go back to that barbershop no more.
I thought the same thing, Tom. It's like, what the hell did y'all talk about when you left?
I was like, Killer, where you got me at, man? What's up, man?
Thomas, that'd be like you and me rolling up into a barbershop someplace and going, you're like, Rich, what were you thinking, dude?
I just had to know that. And to respond to Steve and to Kathy. Kathy, I pray for you. Help you, please, Lord. Steve, this is why we have Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Rayford Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to stand up. It's time to stand up.
Yep.
Too late for us. More than time for us to stand up.
There it is.
Peace, brothers.
All right,
Peace, man.
Steve, stay safe.
All
man.
right. Let's get Dave calling from Hoffman Estates here. Dave, what's new, man?
Hey guys, I was mentioning about where Trump got Dave the story now where his staffers have been frequently putting documents in burn bags. Remember about a week or so ago they talked about him penchant for tearing apart presidential documents. Now they were getting regular burn ones, and then the staffers would decide which documents to preserve and which to destroy.
He'll never be held accountable for that.
No,
never.
He won't.
No, No, like you said, he ain't never going to put a day in jail. I mean, you had other guys like his lawyer put in 3 years for him and that, but he's not going to. And like you were talking earlier about Clarence Thomas, he was nothing but Scalia's lackey. He never, all Scalia to do was pull the string behind his back. And now, his wife, she's been aiding and abetting whatever these January 6th people, and that people are saying he should be recusing himself or should be impeached. Where's the committee on this? Where's Benny Thompson on this? It's like, that's another reason Trump's never going to do no time in jail, because they're at a snail's pace, trying to get this.
Yep, and the Republicans will blow it up when they take over Congress. They just blow it all up.
Yeah, I mean, about a month or two, they're going to be already going into campaign mode.
Yep.
So, people all right, listen, I know you got to get to talking. I'll be well.
Thanks,
Okay, man.
Dave.
Thanks,
Stay
Dave.
safe, man.
That's I hate that we have to rush people like that sometimes, but I ain't trying to have Tommy out here breaking windows. Tom, what's new, man?
I'm always aghast when people begin to talk about certain scenarios or situations that happen in this reality known as life. For instance, if a flashbang comes through your window, if police show up at your house with a no-knock warrant, it is your notification that on this day, you can die. And how do you know this? They're coming in without notification. They're coming in, if the flashbang comes through, with a clear understanding of getting the ups on whoever it is that's in the building or in the house. You would think that with a no-knock warrant that they would open the door, throw some kind of tear gas or something in there to incapacitate people, rather than the norm of the Wild Wild West. I also find it very interesting that there's a commercial that's running on AT&T as I close so you guys can continue on. And in the commercial, the lady asked the little girl, what if we gave you this lollipop? I'm sure you guys have seen it. So she gives her a nice little lollipop, and then she says to the other child, and what if we gave you the best lollipop? I mean, this lollipop was huge. The little girl cries out and said, that's unfair. Well, I'd like to ask people a question. How fair do you think it is to recognize and understand of people being snatched off of a continent, thrown in the bow of a boat, working for no wages, never being given the rights of human beings, from the moment they stepped off of the boat until here we are in this current time, and yet we keep talking about what democracy should be in another country. Keep listening to a family meeting. Sometimes, man, you just hang your head and you just say, why? Goodbye.
That's our somber contribution to your community safety, because if we don't let Tommy get it out here,
coming for you.
He's going to break some windows on you, man.
Hey, man, one more quick push from our girl, Dana Goldberg. She will be live.
Did she pay you for this, man?
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, man, you do this for your people.
That's saying, man.
But anyhow, she's going to be Wednesday night live, 7 p.m., February 9th at the Green Room 42. And check her out. You can live stream her show and give a girl some support. So just wanted to put that out there.
So, y'all know how this goes. We've been doing this for a number of years. Here we are with another, I'm calling it, crossroads. Opportunity. Let me change that. Opportunity.
That's a good way of putting it.
To affect change. I mean,
just do the thing.
Yeah, if only because I've told the story before about when we practiced basketball when I was in high school and college, right? And one of the team captains one year said, everybody's running the suicides, the lines, for different reasons. Some of them are running them because they want to get in shape. Some of them are running them because it's punishment. And some of them are running them to just get it over with. Mm-hmm. And aren't y'all just tired?
Yeah.
Of having all this unfairness, and for those of you who aren't intellectually curious enough to look at it, the drag that it creates on your well-being, on your society.
A friend of mine, she used to say, "Don't you just get tired of the consternation?" And I mean, at some point,
there's somebody come over the house. Oh, here he come again with all this mess. I mean, this is just mess. This is mess. There's so many things that you could advocate for that just fix that. That doesn't make any sense to exist. Homeless people. Homeless people, period. Veterans especially, but homeless people, why? We got enough real estate and everybody have shelter.
Right.
Everybody can get shelter.
Almost cussed.
There shouldn't be anybody should be hungry.
How can we run around and say the Holocaust didn't happen? What the hell? I mean, and then do things like take a book out of school because, I mean, fix that by saying, yeah, it happened, and we're going to talk about it. And the people who are pushing back on this and pushing back on other books,
you have to ostracize them. Push them off to the side.
You're done. We don't need you.
You're the antisocial. When we talk about the people who are engaging in antisocial behavior, it's because of these people. Right. Push them off to the side.
And
let's give these kids who Catherine characterized as participating in gangs. Let's give them something.
Yep.
There's solutions to that. Right. You got to know where it came from and why it exists. You got to know the good parts of gangs. If you got people engaged at some level in the community.
They ain't gonna be on the street.
Bad or good. The question, the effort shouldn't be to get rid of the group. It's to get rid of the antisocial behavior and engage them in the social behavior that works for society.
That benefits everybody in society.
So you already got an organization that exists. They've got organization. Now they got leadership.
Yep.
They know how to pass around information, communication, all this stuff. Now how can you use that to better the society versus just chasing them down and shooting them and locking them up?
Yep. I mean, I remember back in the 80s, they were talking about what can be learned from the organizational structure of the mob.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. I mean, really? Okay, but we get the idea that there's some benefits there, but to call every gang, and it's namely, I mean, let's just be honest, it's namely, gangs are what black groups of kids get labeled as.
Yeah, the difference between gangs, people try to characterize gangs different than the mob, right? That's a difference without a distinction.
Right.
They do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Right, just one of them is well-resourced and the other isn't.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
And glamorized, frankly.
Glamorized.
And the other is looked at as a scourge of society without looking at, like, as you said, what's underneath the blanket, what's really underneath it.
In fact, I would argue that the mob uses the gangs.
But they do.
To their end.
There's no need for you to speculate. That happens. That's proven.
Exactly. So, I mean, let's not walk around the edges and lie about this and then characterize people a certain kind of way.
I want to ask the question.
There's easy solutions to this.
I want to ask the question to the.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Keep that thought for a second. Anybody in this city, any mayoral candidate who's talking about increasing police,
ain't getting my vote.
They don't deserve a vote because that ain't the answer.
No, it's not. It's
right.
resources.
And that's not a knock against police. That is, you got people who are under-resourced. They don't need to get policed.
So I'll come to this point. I'll ride with you. So you know how this week or recently, Mayor Lightfoot is dropping this new money into the tech area on the west side. Mm-hmm. She's catching hell over that. But people won't stop for a minute and go, oh, yeah, I guess that actually will help that community, help the broader.
It'll help the drag on the city.
Right.
Right. It'll decrease the need for police expenses.
But she's catching hell. And it's not a matter of me being for or against her, but just looking at this moment, she's doing something to advance the community at large, and specifically that community, that neighborhood.
Right.
She's catching hell.
The system is starting to work to undermine it and make it not work effectively.
But ain't nobody say a damn thing anytime a new project goes into a predominantly white community. Not
high rise,
not a damn
condo
thing.
Building.
And that's the part where Eric and I go, okay, we get when the mindset of a Catherine calls on the show, but dig a little bit deeper. Because that's exactly, she said, get a job. Okay, well, the under-resourcing of the community, the mayor is trying to fix, but she's catching hell for trying to fix it. How insidious is that?
Good ideas are good ideas. It doesn't matter, to me at least, which political gang they come from. If it's a good idea, it's a good idea.
That's why we have our permanent interests that override the political gang.
Right. Let me tell you something. Just so y'all can be upset with me. as we wrap this up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Go.
If you had the GOP, if part of their platform involved adding all or most of our permanent interests, I'll be damned if I ain't voting Republican.
Because one of our permanent interests is to eliminate this whole issue of bias and balancing this, leveling the playing field.
Right.
That's all we're asking for. So if the GOP suddenly flipped on its side and said, "Wait a minute, we can capture all this support,
we can capture all these votes
if we just
do
change this."
Right, because the Democrats aren't aggressive about it.
So
we know how to be aggressive.
Let's go on
If we get aggressive about this, we're in leadership forever.
Done.
But they're too stupid.
That's too stupid too.
Your boy Trump would be in office right now had he reacted to the pandemic differently.
If and this is where
because he's too stupid.
He was too stupid, and this is why everybody who's saying I'm not going to wear a mask, I'm not going to get vaccinated or boosted, is an idiot, because Trump is on tape telling what's his name? I forget his name now. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, Woodward.
Yeah. And so how can anybody run around going, "Oh, he's a genius and he's this and he's that," when he told you it was bad on a mic, and now you're still going, "Well, I'm not going to." So
whatever political gang advocates for our permanent interests, yours and mine, I'm talking the general us, yours and mine, that's who gets my vote. I have no permanent friends. I have no permanent enemies.
Because the minute that
I just have permanent interests.
That changes, then we got a problem.
Right. Exactly. So now y'all mad, right? Y'all mad now. You trying to no. No.
Wait, as I would say, as the phrase goes, run till that.
You're gonna run tell somebody that.
Right.
That's what I said. And listen, y'all can tune in next week and pick on me all you want. Let me tell you something. I don't care.
He don't care.
I don't care what y'all.
And I know he don't care.
No, man.
We just go.
Cause listen, I'll say something. If it's I ain't afraid to say nothing.
2 prior shows, Eric said, "I'm reining it in. I'm asking the broad question." You think he cares?
Yeah, I didn't really care about your answers, by the way, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I didn't really care at all. I was curious, but I didn't care about them. If somebody had called and said, "Yeah, listen, my children are in counseling now because they learned about all that their grandparents did, and it's just so horrible." Slap them around a little bit, give them a Pop-Tart. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean,
go in the yard and play.
That's what happened to us.
Right. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. There's a lot of things you can do on a Sunday, and I appreciate you doing it with us. That's all the time we have. I want to thank you for yours, for the Black Asian dude.
Always, man.
And for Tressa, with all of our love. She lost her father last week.
She did.
And you lost your sister. I forgot to say something about that, man.
Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, man,
Don't worry.
for that, man. And our white slave, Devin.
There it is.
We appreciate y'all for all you do. Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I'm your host, Eric Grant. Peace.
For FD, overweight loving MC. Rub your jelly, you know,
The Family Meeting is sponsored by Polaris Insurance Agency.